An individual made $600 billion in just a day with just help of one secret information that nobody knew instead of him. And another person established the biggest bank in America when every bank was falling on its knees during the crisis of 2008. Today, I'm going to reveal exactly who these people are and how they do it.
1815, Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who conquered most of Europe, was fighting his final battle at Waterloo. The entire fate of the British Empire depends on this battle. If Napoleon wins, Britain collapses. If he loses, Britain survives. But Nathan Rothschild isn't on the battlefield. He's in London, running the most sophisticated information network in Europe. While kings and generals rely on official messengers, Rothschild has his own private army of spies, fast horses, and carrier pigeons. On June 18, 1815, the battle ends. Napoleon is defeated, but this news won't reach London so fast, but the Rothschild is an exemption. A dust-covered messenger arrives at his private office with 4 words that will change everything. Napoleon has been defeated. Instead of celebrating, Rothschild walks to the London Stock Exchange and starts selling British government bonds. Massive amounts. His traders flood the market, dumping bonds like they're worthless paper. The other traders see this and panic. They think, if Rothschild is selling, Napoleon must have won and Britain is finished. The other trader also starts selling after watching Rothschild action, and then bond prices crash completely. The entire British financial system is melting down. But Rothschild isn't done. At the exact moment when panic peaks, when prices hit rock bottom, he gives a secret signal to his agents. Buy, buy, buy. It all. His men sweep through the exchange like vultures, purchasing bonds at 30% cheap of their original value. Then the official news finally arrives. Britain has won and Napoleon is defeated. The empire is safe. Bond prices explode upward, breaking all the previous barriers, higher than they've ever been. In one day, Nathan Rothschild multiplies his wealth by 20 times. Modern historians estimate he made the equivalent of $600 billion in today's money. He didn't fight the battle. He didn't cause the war. He just had better information and zero hesitation about using it to manipulate an entire nation's economy. You might think this kind of information deception doesn't happen in our modern world. Modern world has strict rules and regulation to follow. But in 2008 financial crisis, when everything was booming from cars to housing prices, all were going upward. But no one really knew what was coming towards them except JP Morgan. There was a housing bubble about to burst, and the Lehman Brothers Bank, one of the oldest banks in America, were the biggest victim of it. They collapsed overnight, and with them, many other major banks collapsed. This resulted in free fall of stock market. People were losing their homes. Retirement funds are evaporating. The American economy is falling apart. But inside the glass towers of JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon isn't panicking. While other banks were making crazy bets on housing, JP Morgan was stockpiling cash. And when everyone else is drowning, JP Morgan started acquiring banks, and their first target was Bear Stearns, a bank worth $20 billion just months before, and now JP Morgan buys it for $2 billion. That's like buying a Ferrari for the price of a bicycle. After watching the current situation, the government steps in. The government starts handing out bailout money, which is free money. JP Morgan gets $25 billion, even though they don't really need it. What do they do with this free money? They use it to get bigger and larger, acquire more banks, and become more powerful. Then the biggest bank default in American history, which is Washington Mutual, with $300 billion in assets. JP Morgan buys the entire thing for less than $2 billion. By the end of 2008, while millions of Americans were losing everything, JP Morgan had become the largest bank in America. They didn't just survive the collapse. They capitalized on it like no one else. They used taxpayer money to do it. Your money helped them get richer while people got poorer. Jamie Dimon didn't just save his bank. He built an empire on the ruins of his competitors. Do you see the pattern now? Different centuries, different tools, identical strategy. Rothschild had private spies and the fastest horses. JP Morgan had government connections and inside information. Both understood a fundamental truth. Crisis creates opportunity. but only for those who are prepared. When societies collapse, regular people lose everything, but the ultra-connected, they thrive. Every major collapse in history follows this pattern. The Great Depression made some people incredibly wealthy. World War II created new fortunes. The dot-com crash, the 2008 crisis, every single time. The pattern repeats itself. The only question is whether you're aware it's being played, and are you at the right place?